All those guys are cooperating, bro. They're all cooperating. Luce Cannon looking at life. Bricc Baby's in a lot of trouble that we don't even know about yet until they get to that next indictment that he has to deal with this one too.
Damn.
And Big U, I never said they like. Them dudes is done. And them dudes through their life, but these dudes is all over 40. These
Bricc Baby, Big U, and Luce Cannon are finished. Check out what 600 had to say, and then I'll come back with my comments.
read through the whole case. Wack 100 did a whole 12-hour room going page by page. They got Luce Cannon on the Hobbs Act. He
Damn.
looking at life.
Oh, hell no.
And in the paperwork, Luce Cannon collaborated a story that's already made statements on. So he didn't take his little stupid, whatever you want to say, ASS on, no jumper, trying to prove that he's tough. This probably would have never happened.
Yeah, when keeping it gangster goes wrong, and then when yapping goes wrong, all he had to do was just be a content creator, run content on some general stuff, not specific stuff that may be pertaining to what he may be going through. And now everything's coming to light. So again, I know everybody want to run content. I wish everybody the best, starting their content creator journey. But you got to learn to run the certain type of content that's not going to get you jammed up. So it's a lot of learning lessons that are going to be taken from this whole case. And hopefully people can adjust and move accordingly.
He just collaborated a whole story that someone made statements on. If he didn't go up there and do that, it probably would have been this word against this word.
Yeah,
But he went on there and collaborated the exact same story and sent the paperwork for robbery.
not a
Not
good look.
smart.
Nah.
So when you get under the Hobbs Act, that's the top of that is life.
Damn.
Bricc Baby, he's like FUCKED. Like he's a bad situation. He has a whole nother sealed indictment out of Jersey.
Damn.
It's very bad for him. When you look,
Yeah, they're saying the whole New Jersey thing with Bricc Baby may have had something to do with a Sue Surf. So I don't know what's going on with that. I guess there's some affiliates within his organization that are based out of New Jersey. So I don't know about that. But Bricc got the Big U Rico, and then he got his own personal stuff going on with a sealed indictment. That's why Wack's been pressing him like, what's going on? You had a weapon in your possession. You got a chop on you. You just not getting out the next day from the feds. So looks like they've been building up a while with Bricc Baby, and then all the stuff he was talking online and going against people. Bad look for Bricc Baby, and again, Luce Cannon. Bad look for him, just running your mouth and not really understanding the bigger picture.
look it up and show you the reason why they would seal it. You could just look up a sealed indictment, why they would seal it, and you could look up the case number, and it tells you where it's at and all that, bro. He's in trouble.
Damn.
Not to mention that they're talking about ties to the dirt for hire. Like he's in trouble.
Yeah, if they tied the Dirt case to Bricc Baby, because he did say some stuff about the Lil Pop thing, so I don't know, man. Bricc, he should have known better. Like, bro, you didn't been in and out, the joint before, so you should know better than anybody. Let me not run my mouth. Let me just, run some cool, funny content. Don't run no street content, because look at you now. You probably wondering what's going to happen. You got a family and all that. So, again, I don't wish jail on nobody, but when you just run your mouth and yap like that, it's bound to happen. So it is what it is. I don't feel sorry for nobody, but, the family's involved.
Big U will probably go down in history as one of America's dumbest criminals. He'll
Damn.
never see daylight.
Unc is dumb.
So in the Rico, the Big U Rico, which is not a 6-0 Rico, it just happened to have 60s in it. Um, Extortion alone, it's like 20 years with the Rico of multiple people, right? Money fraud, money laundering, uh, robberies, and all these that they're saying are funded by this criminal organization. You know what I mean? And then he got all this stuff in his real name.
And then another thing with Big U, he was wiretapped, so he was kind of yapping too, not really knowing the situation, just going in on detail with random people. That's why people don't like to speak on phones. You know what? We'll talk in person if you're living that type of lifestyle. So for those that, living on the straight and narrow, cool. You can have a, regular conversation, but if you having some criminal type talk, you shouldn't be going in detail on the phone. But Big U looks like he miscalculated everything, and he did a lot of time as well. So I would think out of everybody involved in this case, he should know better to be like, you know what? Let me not fumble up. let me live on the straight and narrow and, do my thing legally. But who knows? He could have got caught up. All allegations, but it ain't looking good for Big U.
I said that body, that hot one, that's just extra. You
Damn.
add in interstate sex trafficking, it's like 20 years, bro. You know what I'm
Damn,
saying?
he
He's
got all
doing,
that?
you know, uh, they got 50 cooperating witnesses testifying against him,
Oh,
made
yeah,
statements
it's over.
against him. There's no way out of that. But it just goes back to what I'm telling y'all. You cannot hang out, do business, kick it, talk to busters. They're gonna flip on you, bro.
Yeah, you got like 50 plus people ready to talk, and then the people that got jammed up, I'm sure there's going to be some snakes in there as well. So it's going to be a lot of ratting going on in this whole Rico Crip 60 thing going on. So damn, Big U, it was good, but it looks like you didn't, calculate your steps properly. Same with Big U and Luce and the other people's involved. Like, don't know what's going to happen with everybody, but when you got those three that are talked on social media and got wiretaps, terrible moves, man. I would think that, these gangsters, they would know better than to kind of just, freestyling and talking in public about stuff that you really shouldn't give detail to, regardless of if you beat the case or not. If it's a Rico, they can tie everything back up. So yeah, definitely a terrible move by just talking freely on these platforms and on the wiretap.
You know what I'm saying? If you're doing something, do it by yourself. You
Yeah.
don't need to tell everybody what you're doing. But Big U, he's in a bad situation because he only messes with busters. If he know he can like bully you and have you be a yes man and tell you what to do, he'll rock with you. But the downside of that is if it goes bad, like now, all those people who know your business, they all told on you.
Yeah.
You don't get a Rico by doing you and him doing him. It's together. So all of them are cooperating. On top of that, half of them are out of jail. Go
Damn.
talk to anyone who's been in the federal system. You might get bail for some type of money thing or some type of non-violent if you don't have any felonies. You don't get out of jail the next day being picked up on a RICO unless you're cooperating.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's gonna be a lot of cooperating going on, a lot of ratting going on. So again, you do dirt with everybody. All it takes is one person out the bunch to start spilling the beans. So Big U is cooked.
Point proven. All those guys are cooperating, bro. They're all cooperating. And it is what it is, but it just goes back to him. And it's like, Big U, if you got BS going on with your what they're charging you with your business, why are you involving all these other people? You know what I'm saying? And then you're involving busters who gonna fold on you. You know what I'm saying? It's
Damn.
crazy.
Yeah.
But so Luce Cannon looking at life. Bricc Baby's in a lot of trouble that we don't even know about yet until they get to that next indictment that he has to deal with this one too.
Damn.
And Big U, I never said that like them dudes is done. And them dudes through their life, but these dudes is all over 40. These dudes is 40s and 50 and 60 years old. Like you would think that these dudes would be in their 20s. You know what I'm saying? Like, we jumped off the porch in the teens, man, was doing things that get us life back then, bro. Like these dudes is caught up in some goofy stupid at the age they in, bro.
Yeah, you would think these ain't just no young people off the porch, fresh off. These are people that's been in the game, been doing things, probably had time here and there. So for them to be in this situation, it's just really stupidity. Like, come on. If you're going to be a criminal, at least be a smart criminal. You don't need to be doing no BS and then all of a sudden in your late 50s and 60s and in your 30s and 40s, you find yourself back in the slammer. So again, terrible moves by everybody involved in this.
Like they kids and family and wives and girlfriends got to be looking at them like goofies, bro. You know how goofy my family, my people looking at me if I'm doing something. So, bro, I haven't broke a law in over 10 years. I don't even, listen, I'm so far out the loop. When somebody has weed in my car, I'm like, why are you bringing that? Because
I'm the same way. Hey, you got anything on you, that's your fault, or you got to leave, or you got to put that out. You got to understand how you moving. You got to move smart out there.
when I was in the streets, you couldn't have California.
Hmm.
So I don't even know if you can carry like an ounce on you. So I don't want to be around it. I don't smoke or drink anyway, but it just show you like Big U's gonna go down as America's dumbest criminals. They said they're gonna seize his property, the house. Then he went on there and said, I was paying my mortgage with that property. Like, dude went out all the way sad, bro.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
it
He
is
went out
sad.
sad. He went out like a buster. Number one, you turn yourself in. You don't never turn yourself in. That's buster right there. Number two, you start snitching. You start throwing out names or on camera, letting the feds know who, what, and who to go pick up. He
Yeah.
specifically said y'all should go get 600 and whack 100. He told the feds to come get us.
Yeah, he did go out with a bang. Like, I'm gonna start yapping. I already talked myself into a hole. I might as well just say, yo, this person has something to do with it. That person has something to do with it. So yeah, he definitely went out telling.
While he's on the way to jail. On camera. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's what he did to Eddie Boy. This is how he got Eddie Boy conspiracy charge. And when he get mad and like a little girl, he get weird like that. He get crazy, start doing little. He said when he got arrested for the robbery they did, the first thing he said was, "Man, I should have never went to work for Eddie." Eddie like, hold on, man, you ain't working for me. Like,
Put my name in this.
matter of fact, I don't even know you, bro. Don't tell them people nothing about me, man. But
For real,
it's in the
man.
paperwork.
Damn. Yeah, that definitely cooked. Big U, Luce, Bricc, everybody involved to some capacity. Gonna have to do some time. Possible football numbers. So we gonna see who gonna snitch first. A lot of people saying it could be Bricc. I've been hearing Luce name come up. They're saying Big U already snitching. So again, we'll see who folds first, and I'll keep y'all updated.